7 seasons now in this league. I think it's time Bolton went up into the Championship, and hopefully back to the Premiership where they belong.
It's a great achievement for the club, and it'll bring a lot of morale to the team and to the fans as well. So, up the Bantams.
It'll be amazing. It'll be amazing if we get promoted. It'll be amazing. It'll be fantastic.
It'll be 20 odd years since we've been this high. It'll be big. I mean, Graham Alexander, what a manager.
The playoffs are great for a neutral, but so painstaking as a fan. Who will join Stockport at Wembley? It'll be Bradford or Bolton on Sunday, May the 24th. And speaking of Stockport, their boss, Dave Challoner, is here this evening taking a keen eye on proceedings. He's got his ticket to Wembley, but just making sure he has the correct one for this evening. We're going to give you a perfect view too. Kickoff is on the way next. It's really amazing in Valley Parade tonight. Their home form, Bradford, is so good, Joby. How much will that play into their hands?
Oh, I think it's going to be absolutely huge, and this is a big part of that. And I remember coming here on a number of occasions, really interesting hearing Hecky talk about it not being like this, and at times doesn't feel like the players have been able to deal with this, Michelle, the size of the club. But one thing Graham Alexander's done over the last couple of years, they've really embraced this support. They've got people into the stadium, and it's really helped with that home form. It's been absolutely incredible, and coming out to this as a player tonight, I mean, it will give you the biggest buzz, and I'm sure it will help in that performance.
I mean, Hecky, it's almost European with the flags, isn't it? The way they're waving. It visually looks incredible, and hopefully the sound is coming through to you at home as well. How do the Bolton players quieten this down?
The Bolton players need to play their game, which is keep the ball, but it's like I said, I think the Bradford players can use these fans and this atmosphere as well, because I think they have to bring intensity, they have to play with a lot of aggression and try and disrupt Bolton, and with the support of these fans tonight and this atmosphere, I think it can only help them.
What are you thinking, Joby? What are you thinking?
Well, I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I think the atmosphere obviously is going to play a huge part in it. Two teams with different styles, and it's about who can impose themselves on the game. Can Bolton be brave? Can they play? Can they keep the ball? Or is it going to be that energy, you know, the urgency in terms of Bradford and making sure that they put them under pressure? But we're standing here now, Michelle, and I mean, this is a third tier of English football. You know, two teams with the highest attendances this season, great atmosphere at Bolton, and then this is just absolutely incredible. This is what it's all about this time of the season. It's brilliant.
Yeah, if you're a neutral then, you can sit back and enjoy this, but if you are a Bradford fan, if you are a Bolton fan, take a deep breath. Here we go. Let's get across to our commentary team, Andy Hinchcliffe and David Stowes.
Thank you, Michelle. A pleasure to be here and be part of quite the occasion. And so to part two. I wonder what we'll get from these two sides tonight. The handshakes, the walk, and the noise. Bolton stride out with a well-deserved lead, but a slender one. While Bradford City are on their own patch, where they are usually at their best. Bearing in mind the size of the clubs and the quality in their ranks, this would be a fitting final, but only one can make it through to the Wembley showpiece. Stockport County await the winners. Now the fight is on to join them. The atmosphere of the first leg was red hot. The locals are pumped up to match it tonight. Both sides are understandably confident, while respecting the challenge ahead and the prize on offer. Let's take a check on the cast list then. We begin with a big Bradford City boost, and the return to the starting 11 of local lad, lifelong fan and joint players player of the year, Bobby Poynton, who has missed the last 6 games with an ankle issue. He replaces George Lapsley. Otherwise, it's as you were from the first leg. So the side includes former Bolton promotion winner Anthony Sarcevic, young player of the year Jensen Metcalf, and Caden Jackson, who scored the Bantams' only goal against Bolton this term in the draw here 2.5 weeks ago. There's promotion and playoff pedigree throughout the squad, as well as some who've suffered the heartbreak of defeat on nights like this. Well, Well, the same can be said of those on the Bolton side of the fence. All playoff angles and emotions covered here. The visitors are, of course, halfway to Wembley and look to complete the job with this unchanged side. As in the first leg, Celtic lonely Johnny Kenny is sidelined. A huge blow after his 5 goals in 6 appearances of late, including one here. Saturday's match winner and Sky Bet League One Team of the Season inclusion, Mario Kosciadubri, will look to bamboozle the hosts again. And Player of the Year Sam Dolby remains on the bench after recent injury problems. What a cauldron of noise. And Andy, it's Bolton's tie as it stands. What must Bradford do differently tonight from the first leg?
Well, they need to find an attacking edge. They failed to register a shot on target for the first time this season in that first leg. So can they put Boynton, Sarcevic, Jackson in better goal-scoring positions tonight? He might not be fully fit, but Boynton's availability is a massive boost for Graham Alexander. But just a word, David, on the atmosphere. It's absolutely electric, the passion both sets of fans are showing here. It shows the size of the clubs, but what an amazing competition League One is.
Yes, numerically, these are the 2 best supported clubs in the division. Those in the stands will vocally go toe-to-toe as those on the pitch go head-to-head. It may come down to mental mindset tonight as much as tactical tweaks. It has the feel of a small margins matchup. Both sides have perhaps struggled a little for form of late, but that matters not if you make it through to a Wembley final, of course. Bradford have won just 1 of their last 6 games, Bolton just 2 of their last 7. But while the season is over for many, these sides are still in the thick of it. And fair play to both for what they've achieved, whatever happens tonight.
Yeah, and 2 very different styles of football. Great footballing conditions as well. The rain has tumbled down for hours. It's stopped now. It's a slick pitch. That ball is going to zip around. It's a patchy playing surface as well. So the players have to beware the dreaded bobble.
Final words of encouragement. Final thoughts before the action really gets underway.
Of course, for Bradford, they've got to be buoyed by the crowd getting right behind them, but don't get too carried away. Mistakes can be made if you commit too early in the game. With Bolton, their personnel, their approach, they can hurt them.
So we're set and ready, and it's Bradford who will start us, both sides in their traditional colours, both sides hoping to be under the arch in just over a week. So Stockport County are watching and waiting. Who joins them at Wembley? Could it be Bradford City? Will it be Bolton Wanderers? Will somebody make it look comfortable? Or are we in for a gut-wrenching, nail-biting, seemingly never-ending evening? Baldwin happy to let it roll.
Well, the one thing Bradford have to do is try and step onto Josh Sheehan. He is a player, central midfielder, who can control the tempo of the game. We saw it with Ollie Norwood last night for Stockport. They've got to stop Sheehan dictating the tempo of the game.
Jackson in strongly, Toll likewise. That'll be one of many personal jewels across the pitch tonight to keep an eye on. Rodriguez setting Kosciadubri away. 2 to look for in the middle. Bradford City well stopped. Up and over the top it goes.
Well, he's well off target in the end, but a positive approach from Bolton. Stephen Schumacher said, we're not going to come here and sit behind the ball and defend. We're going to take the game to Bradford. Exactly what they do here, getting a winger, running into a centre-half in behind the wing-back. They play with real width, Bolton. They dominate the ball, but they get it wide as often as they can. They get Kosciadubri and Sissoko on the ball, running into centre-halves or wing-backs.
Well, a bright start by Stephen Schumacher's side, and by the match winner from the first leg, of course, as well, Mario Kosciadubri, who scored on 60 minutes with the only shot on target in the match. He also hit the post 2.5 minutes later. It was a cagey first leg, albeit one which was largely controlled by the then hosts, Bolton. And here is Jackson trying to escape from Farino, who made such an important early block in the first leg.
Yeah, of course, Cozy Dubry stole the headlines with that brilliant goal, but yeah, Chris Farino was outstanding at the back for Bolton.
It was relatively early on when Anthony Sarcevic was allowed in for an effort which was blocked superbly by Farino. Of course, you never know exactly on what games can turn. Maybe that was an important factor in the evening. Could it be a mere footnote in the tie come full time tonight? We'll see. Of course, important to underline that away goals do not at any stage in these second legs of playoffs count double. That was taken out of the rules in the turn of the millennium. If we're locked level on aggregate at the end of 90 minutes tonight, we go to extra time and we may well end up with penalty kicks.
When you look at Bolton's season, the amount of draws that they've had, more draws than any other side. 18 draws. They'll certainly take number 19 tonight. A draw will get them to Wembley. They won't play for a draw, they'll play to win. They've met 4 times this season. Stephen Schumacher's side have 1-2 drawn to, so Bradford yet to beat Bolton this season.
It's one more stalemate would do for Bolton Wanderers, thanks to that advantage from a few days back. Here's Sissoko. Nice touch, inviting Burstow into proceedings. Albeit that's already crossed the line for a Bradford City throw. Back it goes from Farino. Away by Bonham. A few little nervous moments in the first leg early on. And down goes Jackson. And our referee tonight, Thomas Kirk, waves away any Bradford City questions.
It's a slightly risky challenge from Toll. Referee was having none of it.
Ball was taken by Bolton there, so off they go. Rodriguez looking for Burstow. This is Sissoko, trying to find that little bit of room, or maybe somebody else in the middle. And here's Jackson, closely watched by Farino. Sarcevic in behind Bolton Wanderers here. And the flag has stayed down. Captain of a promotion-winning side with Bolton Wanderers, of course. One of 9 career promotions.
The early stages, Bradford have been getting the ball forward as quickly as possible, looking to get in behind that Bolton defence. I think there's a bit of contact there from the centre-half on central striker, but it's not enough for a penalty.
So Nerfville with the Bradford City throw here. Wright trying to help it on, Bonham will plunge upon it.
So important for Bradford playing with wing-backs with Nerfville and Toure. Can they get up the pitch? Can they get into the Bolton half, provide the width, service into the box?
Burstow just trying to shake off Joe Wright. Away it goes through to Sam Walker. Neither goalkeeper really took centre stage in the first leg. They weren't hugely required in truth. Sometimes a playoff semi-final first leg can be of real sort of cut and thrust. Sometimes it can be a little more cagey, which is what we've generally found this season. But of course, when the second leg comes around, we have to have a winner, which opens things up. Fouled by Ethan Arahon.
Yeah, the ball has spent a lot of time in the air. Both sides really just need to settle down, get the ball on the floor and start passing it around.
Clash between the two number 21s there. Worth noting that a few moments ago, Jensen Metcalf tried to keep the ball in play and ended up clutching with an advertising hoarding, but seems to be okay and in good shape to carry on. Terrific noise around the place. in these early moments from both sets of fans, it must be said.
There's another attempted ball over the top, this time from a set piece. They just need a bit more care, a bit more quality. Don't just lump that ball forward. Try and pick somebody out.
Joe Wright, who's got 3 goals to his name this season, also played in the League One playoff semi-finals previously for Doncaster Rovers in defeat against Charlton. Graham Alexander has enjoyed a lot of success, of course, in promotion terms through his career. And of course, he also used to manage the opposition manager, Stephen Schumacher, during their Fleetwood Town days. Torino just waiting for the contact from Jackson. It's fair to say there was some, but it was made the most of. Here's Johnston, pumping it forward towards Burstow, and very nearly into the path of Ruben Rodriguez.
There's the problem that Bradford have got, that attacking midfielder making a late run. Defenders are just thinking about Burstow and can get caught out if they don't track his forward run. And Rodriguez, the type of player who'll mix up his attacking game, who'll make runs beyond defences as he did there. At times he'll drop short and get the ball into his feet.
Yeah, playing for Bolton Wanderers these days, Rodriguez, but actually a playoff winner in his past against Bolton in the League One final of 2024 in Oxford United colours. Bobby Poynton is flagged offside. Lineup in the League One playoff final. Stockport County, congratulations to them, and Dave Challoner.
Yeah, deserved place at Wembley. They were brilliant last night, controlled the game, got early goals and looked very, very comfortable.
They will take some beating at Wembley, but then again, so will whoever emerges victorious from this tie as well. Should be quite the final. Here's Sissoko, tried to go through Aidan Baldwin.
He tries to buy a free kick as well, because he's certainly not knocked off his feet.
And once again, those two locking horns, but it's a goal kick to the home side.
Yeah, he is a dangerous player, he's got those dancing feet, can manipulate the ball very quickly, but he just overran the ball, ran into the defender and threw himself to the ground.
3 goals in his last 8 games, including one in the defeat to Luton Town right at the end of the season. Of course, Bolton Wanderers delighted to be in the playoff mix, and they were actually confirmed in the final quartet before anyone else, but didn't finish third, therefore didn't get home advantage in the second leg, which is what Stockport County did and made the most of last night. There's a fair bit of movement in the top 6 on final day. Rodriguez always looked up here and gone for the spectacular. And Sam Walker watching it into the gloves.
Yeah, it's a positive play to win the ball back in the first instance. Metcalf doesn't see him coming. He's ambitious.
Well, worth a go on a night like this, isn't it? It goes in, you're a hero forever. It doesn't, and it's quickly forgotten.
But again, it shows that Bolton positive approach. He wins the ball back, he doesn't go backwards or sideways just to keep the ball. He looks to try and score.
Well, some would say it's the most dangerous thing you can do, try and play for a draw, and as you say, it's not really in the Bolton Wanderers' DNA. Johnston's header towards Rodriguez, who was playing deeper in the Luton game, further forward in the first leg, and has stayed in that number 10 slot tonight. Rajon's ball across. Rodriguez sets it for Osei Tutu, taken down with very little room to spare.
Again, an example of the Bolton positivity. They're right back, high on the pitch, edge of the penalty area. You think away from home, first 15 minutes, we're going to be sat on the edge of our own box. Look where Asai Tutu is. There's an extra attacker, and that's that Bolton confidence. They don't give the ball away cheaply, so all their players can step up the pitch.
And Bolton Wanderers fans, understandably, in this position, in very good voice.
In this position, you're really close to the goal, so if you don't go for pure power, you really do have to feel this ball. If you're trying to get it up and over the wall and on target, you've got to have a great touch. It's not about power. You try and smash this, it goes over the bar.
Well, who fancies this? There's a fair few in discussions. Roger Dubry and Josh Sheehan, the two remaining. Sheehan, and it hit various body parts.
You see what Sheehan's trying to do. As I say, just try and feel that ball, but of course you've got to get it over the wall to start with.
Wasn't the most sturdy wall in the end, but it did its job.
And there's plenty of bricks, just not enough mortar in between them, but it did the job in the end, didn't it? Appealing for a handball in there absolutely wasn't. But just looking at the Bolton approach, why would they change how they play? They played 4 games against Bradford this season. They've won 2, they've drawn 2. They scored 5 goals to Bradford's 1. They've dominated the ball in all those games as well, and their average XG is nearly double that of Bradford. So why would you change the way you play, regardless of the circumstances?
The old adage, isn't it? Play the game and not the occasion.
Easier said than done.
Absolutely. Poynton's touch, and he has it again. And he wants a corner and he gets it. Could be a huge boost for Bradford City tonight to have him in the ranks.
Yeah, they've got to make the most of set pieces with the 3 centre-halves coming up from the back to attack it.
Max Power, the captain, on corner duty. There's a fair bit going on in the middle. Thomas Kirk just wants to check the ball is where it should be. Plenty of movement, so many bodies in there, and it's scuffed away in the end. Curtis Tilt will reload. And Max Power had a little too much to do.
Yeah, they didn't make the most of set piece. It's a poor delivery. You've got Jack Bonham, a giant goalkeeper, so you have to try and keep it away from him. You've got to put a flat, pacey ball in. The big lads are up from the back. Give them something to attack. It was a poor ball in. It was easily defended.
Minutes in, and the night is panning out much as you'd expect. Plenty going on the field, plenty of noise being generated off it. Both sides looking to rise to the challenge. Farino helped out by Johnston.
First mistake Farino has made tonight. He's been put under a lot of pressure, a lot of forward balls. He's dealt with most things, just completely missed his kick there.
Power for Toure. Neat and tidy from Ositutu. Power and Rodriguez smashing into each other there. Nerfville with a giant leap.
Yeah, it was silk meeting steel there, wasn't it? Rodriguez getting clattered by Power.
Late on Roger Dubry.
I just feel when Bolton are in possession, they've got that extra touch of quality. You know, they keep the ball on the floor, they knock it around, they move you about. You see Bradford, they're trying to disrupt that. on occasion he will get it wrong, he will commit, you know, fouls, ball tackles, tilt again, just takes his man out there. He's not playing the ball, he's playing the man. Again, you're going chasing the ball, you're trying to stop Bolton getting into a passing rhythm. He's just overstepped the mark. The referee's right, just again keep your cool. I'll give you a warning. Next time you do it, you go in the book.
Such an important player for Bradford City. Won 2 promotions to the Championship in his career already with Rotherham and with Wigan. Important in terms of what he brings to the side with the ball and indeed without it as well. Johnston's header forward.
There's no shot on target for either side as yet, but you can see this is what Bolton do. They get on the ball, they dominate it, they slow teams down home and away. They have had slightly more threat, especially with their wide players. Talked about the Bolton style. They want to keep the ball, they want to zip it around, but for Bradford they are a bit more direct, but they need to show a lot more quality. They're all for playing, you know, longer forward balls, trying to turn defences around, but you need quality, whatever way you play, to give your strikers, wide men, decent service.
Burstow trying to make it his for Bolton Wanderers. Sarcevic with a little prod for Nerfil. Howard tidying up as he does so often in that midfield area. Toure for Poynton. This is Tilt. Poynton again, just caught on it and gives the throw-in away too.
Bradford just don't look as comfortable as Bolton when they're trying to play that possession game.
Burstow took it down nicely and was fouled.
That is a brilliant piece of centre-forward play. Just getting yourself in between ball and defender, taking a hit, drawing the foul, getting your team up the pitch. Easy when you're a lone striker up against, at times, 3 central defenders, so you've got to be robust, you've got to be aggressive. Burstow does really well there.
Bolton Wanderers just asking the question if Joe Wright should have been cautioned for kicking the ball away, but for now the lid kept firmly on by referee Thomas Kirk, trying just to calm everybody down and let a few things flow. Forward towards Farino. There's a fair bit of pushing and pulling in the mix. Bonham for Sheehan. Rodriguez. And now Johnston. Dubry, not quite for Sheehan. City keen to get on with the throw-in, any which way. This is Jackson. Sarcevic hovering in the middle. Sheehan wasn't aware of his presence. Career promotions, including one with Bolton Wanderers, of course. Indeed, scored on his Bolton debut against Bradford City, no less.
Yeah, the opening quarter of the game, he's not really seen a lot of the ball, if any of the ball. So he's a player, and they're individuals, Bradford, who need him to step up and do something tonight.
He played in that Fleetwood Town side, alongside now Bolton boss Stephen Schumacher, and managed by Graham Alexander. Football is in many ways a small world. Anthony Sarcevic scoring in the final of the League Two playoffs 2014. A 1-0 win over Burton Albion. Here's Sissoko. Johnston. Couldn't get past the combination of Baldwin and Nerfil. Bradford City unable at the moment to build from Caden Jackson up top, which they've been so good at doing in recent weeks.
This is why it's so difficult, frustrating to play against Bolton, because they just take the ball away from you, start with the ball, and you can't get on the ball and build up any momentum, any tempo.
Chris Farino. Dubry. And again for Rodriguez this time, trying to repay the favour. That's a gift taken on by Sissoko. Burstow once again trying to find a way through right. Rekindled by Arahon. Burstow tumbles and wins a corner.
Well, the set piece for Bolton comes some good pressure on that Bradford backline when they're in possession. They give the ball away not once but twice. Trying to play out from the back under the Bolton press is risky.
It's a corner for which every Bradford City player retreats. And all but Jack Bonham really come forward from a Bolton point of view. Been very handy from corners this season. So busy, not just in the penalty area or the 6-yard box, but on the line here. And it's, well, Owen Toll who broke from the crowd and tried to angle it towards goal.
Oh, it's a wicked ball in. It's pacey, it drops. I think that's the problem for Toll. He just can't adjust his feet, adjust his body to turn it goalwards. He's been better served really swinging his left boot at this. He tries to adjust his body, got it with his right. He can't get it on target. It's a chance.
Bradford City have lost the ball from their own goal kick. This is Johnston. There's a ball in that asked a few questions, by the way.
Yeah, Bolton just starting to ramp things up, stepping the tempo up on and off the ball. There's been a lot of questions defensively at Bradford. Bradford will be pleased. Last 5 minutes or so they haven't conceded.
Georgie Johnston, as they call him, the Bolton Wanderers fans. He actually missed the League One playoff final a couple of years ago against Oxford with an ACL injury. As Graham Alexander ponders how he might change things here and there. Situtu back to Bonham. Ball back was spotted by Jackson.
And once again from Bradford, tilt there, just an aimless forward ball. I understand you're trying to turn Bolton around, but you need to do it with quality.
Sissoko with a lovely nutmeg. Rodriguez taken down, or at least that's what he thought. Max Power screaming at his side to get rid of the ball. In particular, Jensen Metcalf.
Again, trying to play out in your own half. It's risky because Bolton are in control, you know, where the game is being played. They're dominating possession as well. They're playing like the home team.
Good challenge by Sheehan on Poynton. Taken on by Metcalf. He's had a fine season. Poynton goes again here. 4 waiting in the middle in Bradford colours. Sarcevic rises. Toll tries to win it back. Away as far as Baldwin. And Power. And Johnston away.
I'd say Toll did really well there because Caden Jackson was always favourite to get to it first. So Toll didn't try and dive in and win the ball. Stayed on his feet. It was the right decision. That ball nearly ended up on the gantry. Did you see me ready to take it down?
You were there, yeah, chest puffed out, ready to go. In steps Baldwin to win that one back. This is Metcalf. Too much for Torre.
And once again, there's that urgency, but a lack of quality. It's just going to lump forward. It's more hit and hope. They've just got to, I think, just take a little bit off what they're doing here, Bradford. They're playing everything at 100 miles an hour, trying to keep the tempo up, and they're losing their quality, and you can't find any attacking rhythm at the moment.
Loose from Rodriguez. Taken on by Jackson. His eyes just lit up at the chance to have a go.
It's ambitious, gets the ball out of his feet. Doesn't really have another option in terms of a teammate to pass to, but it's poor the way Rodriguez just lets that ball bounce off him. Now, it's way off target in the end, but Bolton have got to guard against that, giving the ball away cheaply.
He scored 3 career goals against Bolton Wanderers, which is the most prolific he's been against any one side, along with Burton Albion or Exeter City. He's enjoyed some good days against this side, including, of course, the equalising goal in the draw here last month.
He's got 2 goals in his last 3 games. He's got to keep believing a chance will come. His team at the moment aren't dominating, but there's a striker. You never know when an opportunity might come along, so be ready.
Three-time promotion winner as well. Adding that experience to the Bradford City ranks since joining in January. There is Jackson, and Sasovic. Poynton couldn't quite win the battle against Sheehan. Absolutely no time or room in that midfield area at the moment.
When it's tight and congested, you need good technical players. I think Bolton in that central area have an advantage.
Forward by Sissoko. Rahon's after it. That can't quite get there in time. Not the most comfortable of landings, but he styled it out well. Long from Metcalf. A little too long for Neufville.
They're just desperate to get that ball forward, and time again. Just not quite paying off. That lack of quality is pretty evident.
Wright's header. Forward by Metcalf. Sasovic trying to gamble on the flick from Caden Jackson. What a ball that is for Kosia Dubry to run onto, albeit he had company.
Every time Josh Sheehan picks up the ball, the game just seems to slow down. He's got so much time and space, and I say he can really control the game with his range of passing.
Rodriguez finds his way into the box. And the shot really smothered by the body of Curtis Tilt.
Yeah, Tilt the well just stepping onto Rodriguez, had to deal with him. He broke into the box, you can't back off.
All sorts of people getting involved in the multi-ball system. That is the way these days. Bolton being marched back here.
About 2,000 Bradford referees behind him. He's never going to get away with that, creeping up the touchline.
Up towards Jackson. Toll wins that particular battle. Kosia Dubry just kicking for distance, really. Situtu's header. Kosia Dubry with Tilt again.
Yeah, I think if you'd asked Steven Schumacher what he wanted for the opening half an hour, it would have been pretty much this side of fairly comfortable. Jack Bonham has been a relative spectator. And what Steven Schumacher will want, his team dominate the ball, is that the next goal in the tie.
These nights are horrible though, aren't they, if your team is involved, because if you're ahead, you're only just ahead. If you're behind, you're only just behind, but it feels like that goal will never come. Such a contrast of emotions come full time, and you go through every one of those on the way to the end of the game. And then, of course, if you get through, you've got Wembley to contend with.
Losing track of how many times Bradford have just aimlessly thumped that ball forward and given the ball back to Bolton.
He will want more control, there's no doubt about that. He's also been very quick to point out how proud he is of the club for being in the mix for promotion again. Of course, they came up from League Two last season. Trying to build on that this time around. Sissoko trying to find that little bit of room, away by Joe Wright. Sasovic comes out of the battle with Irajon with the ball. Sheehan. Johnston. Sissoko took it into the crowd a little. Picked off by Metcalf. Sasovic for Nerfield. Johnston standing strong.
And that's better from Bradford. Got the ball down, got it out wide, got their wing backs up the pitch. Committing the ball to the full backs, and you can't get a crossing. Next best thing, get a set piece. In the first corner they had, the delivery was really poor. This has to be better.
Toure to deliver this Bradford City corner. All sorts going on in the middle, as is the way these days. Ball in, again not one of his best. Tilt having to go all the way home under pressure from Koji Dubra. Max Power brought down beautifully. Rodriguez in hot pursuit. He's done really well to pick the ball out, and Burstow couldn't quite reel it in at the vital moment.
I think it's the wrong choice going central, because he has Sissoko in acres of space to his left. So Irajon just got a little bit excited there, zipped that forward ball, and it was the wrong way to pass, wrong direction.
Poynton with room. Spins away, looking for Jackson. Toll kept his eyes on the ball and the man.
Really good pressure on the ball from Rodriguez. Great sliding challenge to win it back. Breaks to Irajon. He's desperately trying to play Burstow in, but look at Sissoko, the amount of space he's got. He's pleading with his teammate, give me the ball, not Burstow.
Irajon was such an effective customer, directing the traffic in the Lincoln City midfield until he was plucked away by Bolton Wanderers during the summer. What a season Lincoln City have had, by the way.
Talked a lot about Bradford, their lack of passing quality, forward passing quality. That's why their key men like Sasovic, Jackson really struggling to get in the game, because they're not being given decent service.
Poynton. This is Nerfville. And now Sarcevic. Watched by Arahon, who did really well under pressure. And Sissoko just left it behind though. Burstow provides the platform from which Bolton can build. Kosher Dubry. Rodriguez is up there with him. Oh, and Baldwin with a sigh of relief as the Bolton man didn't gamble.
I think Kosher Dubry is actually looking to try and play that ball across the pitch to the other winger, Sissoko, undercooks it. And Baldwin, maybe trying to be a little bit too clever here, chest it back to his goalkeeper. Is a very lucky boy because he gets it all wrong. As Rodriguez takes that down, he's in on goal.
A heart-in-mouth moment, and you'd think there'll be a fair few of those before we're done here tonight. He's a playoff winner in his past, Aidan Baldwin in the National League with Notts County, scoring twice in a semi-final. Here's Poynton. Sarcevic in the middle, so was Bonham though. Ositutu accelerates away from Poynton, but just found Toure in the way. Goes to Toll. Jackson right there with him. Bonham happy to take it on. Needed the help from Arahon. Owen Toll on the charge here. Why not keep on going? It's Sissoko. And the path to goal was blocked by Baldwin.
It's brilliant play from Owen Toll. Changing the picture, driving into midfield. This is not what you expect from a centre-half. You know, he's nudged there by Nerfville. Great balance, does the right thing, getting it out wide. Sarcevic back there doing the defending, but in Bolton, when they put some passes together, Bradford look in trouble.
And Owen Toll looks in trouble here as well, which is a real shame from a Bolton Wanderers point of view. He seemed to gallop forward, and as his momentum was stalled, maybe that's where the injury has come. Just suddenly turned into a number 10 for a moment, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Toll, this run he makes here really sums up the positivity we've seen from Bolton. Their fullbacks have got forward to the edge of the box at times. Centre-half stepping into midfield and causing lots and lots of problems.
Well, of course, he has to temporarily leave the field here, which is frustrating from his point of view, because that means his height is not in the middle for the corner that he in part won. Oh, that's right under the crossbar. Sam Walker diving to retrieve. A real tester of a corner.
Sam Walker slightly surprised that ball was on target. If you're looking at this first half as a whole in terms of the possession for two sides, probably more of the ball for Bradford than we would have expected, but just a real lack of quality chances created. Lots of the ball, but Jack Bonham has had absolutely nothing to do. Bolton looking much more threatening with their amount of possession.
the challenge from Irajon. Well, Tom Cleverley amongst the watching on this evening. Born in Basingstoke, but a Bradford City former youth player and grew up in the Bradford area.
Looks absolutely enthralled, doesn't he?
Maybe he's got us in his ears. On a more serious note, it is sadly the end of the evening for Owen Toll. Maybe that lung-busting charge forward is the reason why. Max Conway is his replacement, and there'll be a reshuffle at the back as a result.
Yeah, Conway will come on and play left back, and George Johnson will just slide across into a centre-half position.
Fired forward and seen away by Burstow and hit by Metcalf. And it took a touch on its way through. It will be a corner. It looked for a moment like it could have been quite a lot more than that.
It's a very difficult chance to take on, but he makes a wonderful connection on it. I'm not sure it's actually on target, but definitely takes a touch. I think that ball is going wide of the post, but once Rodriguez gets a touch on it, that could have flown into the top corner.
Comes the corner, which is swiftly dealt with. Toure trying to keep the pressure on. Instead it's Kozia Dubry, and again from Burstow. He just rushed the ball through, but gets a second bite of the cherry. Sissoko here, taken down by Toure.
Yeah, Bradford got to dig deep here. They can't afford to concede a goal just before half-time. Committed so many bodies forward for the set piece there that this is always the danger. Bolton, they've got pacey runners, direct runners, they can catch on the counter-attack, and Sissoko, he just draws Toure and says the ball's there for you, then he just pinches it away and picks up the free kick, so they have to defend this stoutly, Bradford.
Ruben Rodriguez to deliver, and a fair few to charge in on the resulting ball in. Up off the head of Sarcevic, it'll be a corner.
Yeah, it's the right ball in. It has to be defended, and it's on target, so it's over Sarcevic's head. Could always fly in at the far post.
3 added minutes as a minimum at the end of this first half.
The only disappointment from Stephen Schumacher's point of view is his team have controlled this first half. They haven't got a goal.
And it comes towards Farino. Wouldn't quite settle for Rossi 2-2. Kozia Dubry from a fair way out. And he's a fair way over.
This is the problem, because he's so far out, he goes for pure power. He used to try and whip it with his instep. Keep it on target, test the goalkeeper at least. That last set piece, plenty of pushing and shoving, plenty of big men in there. I think attackers, defenders, they're all at it, so the referee, I think, doing the right thing by saying, look, just get on with it.
Always a risky game, isn't it, at the back? Pushing and pulling and grabbing. It's a bit of a hot topic at the moment, but it is impossible for officials to have eyes everywhere. Remember, of course, no VAR in the semi-finals, although we will have it in the final. Burstow applying the pressure, up and away from Walker. that is offside.
That's a really disciplined defensive line. Chris Farino so far at the back for Bolton hasn't missed a thing. As a centre-half, you probably know that the opposition are going to get the ball forward. You might be bombarded, but he said, right, if that's my job, I'll make sure I win header after header. He's done so well.
Forward by Bonner. We don't have too many more attacking moments in this first half. Still time for something of note to happen, though. Optimistic free kick appeals there. Conway in sharply on Jackson. Here he is again from Irajon. Farino now.
It's another positive feature of Bolton's first half, that pressure they put on in the Bradford half, but it's so difficult for the home team to play out comfortably.
And that's half-time. Tight, tense, nervy, nail-biting, everything we expected. As in the first leg, Bolton have been superior, with and without the ball, while Bradford have been diligent defensively, but need more going forward. Indeed, they need more in general. As it stands, Bolton are going through, but at the break, it's all to play for still. Bradford City 0, Bolton Wanderers 0.
Paul, as a manager, what are you saying at half-time if you're Stephen Schumacher?
Yeah, more of the same. He doesn't need to react yet. He'll have to wait and see what Bradford do. But I think a goal for Bolton really does ease the nerves a little bit. So he won't want to change. He'll just want to capitalise on those moments and had in the first half.
He's your old roommate, Joby, so you know him really well. Is he cold or stressed?
No, he's pretty calm at the moment. I think, obviously, the game state dictates that to now. I did just see a big puff of the cheeks there, though. So that's a sort of 45 down, another 45 to get through. But, yeah, listen, he takes this in his stride. He knows what this club's about, the expectations, and it's just another step forward for them.
Bradford need to get back into this one. Let's get back to our commentary team. David Stow and Andy Hinchcliffe.
Thank you, Michelle. It's been fascinating looking around this great ground during the course of half-time and seeing how everyone is dealing with the tension. Some have been singing through it, some have been eating through it, some have just been chatting to try and stay calm. And of course the big talking has been done by the two head coaches, and indeed there's a change to tell you about as well. Tyreek Wright, who's been on the sidelines a little of late, came back in for the first leg, is back in to the action in this second half, replacing Curtis Tilt, who tested the patience of our referee in the first half and is now sidelined for the second half. Off we go then. This is Bradford's 7th appearance in the playoffs. They've won 2 promotions along the way. It's Bolton's 10th, and they've gone up twice too. Nothing to choose between them in terms of the number of times they've gone up in the past, and so far tonight, nothing to choose between them in terms of goals.
Yeah, Bolton have looked comfortable, but Graham Alexander had to do something. He's changed the personnel, he's changed the shape of the team, gone to a back four. They'll have to carry more going forward. It's been a story of the tie for them so far, just not enough attacking threat.
Forward it goes for Bolton, looking for Sissoko. Will spin out and away from Baldwin. There was a fair bit of chat by supporters pre-match as to whether Graham Alexander would start with a 3 tonight at the back, or indeed a 4 as he did against Bolton here in the game a couple of weeks ago. Certainly started with a 3, and system being tweaked along the way, it would seem. Here's Metcalfe. Tries to bend one! And it was curling all the way, just not quite enough.
Yeah, the idea is right. Positive start to the second half from Bradford. Again, Metcalfe much higher up the pitch, just doesn't wrap his instep round it enough. I think Jack Bonham actually has that covered as well. And this is what Bradford need, that change in shape might just give them more. The bodies, attacking bodies higher up the pitch, can they then provide the quality they need?
Incidentally, he's got 3 senior goals, 2 of them for Bradford, the other against Bradford, in the colours of Chesterfield. What a campaign he's had in the Bradford City midfield. Dovetailing really well with Max Power. Here is Power. Just lost his footing for a moment, lost the ball and needed Aidan Baldwin to help him out. Foul against Rodriguez.
Yeah, change of shape from Graham Alexander. He'll hope that will have a positive effect for his team on the game, but we saw it in the Championship semi-final second leg where Alex Neil went to 4-4-2 and actually played into Hull's hands. So sometimes a change in shape, once your opponents get to grips with it, can cause you a bit of a problem.
Marino's header. Conway under pressure here. Oh, and it's given against Nerfil, which is not pleasing for him, or indeed Sarcevic, who's backing him up vocally.
Yeah, I think Max Conway, his initial thinking is to play it back to his goalkeeper, then he realises that route back's been cut off and he's just hoping that Nerfil fouls it. I'm not sure that he actually does. He goes to ground, Conway, and he's lucky to actually get the free kick because he's not knocked off his feet.
He is certainly somebody Bradford City will want to get into the game more and in behind Bolton Wanderers more. Winner in the playoffs, of course, last season at this level with AFC Wimbledon. Scorer in the semi-final victory as well over Notts County. The noise in the early moments of this second half is Bolton Wanderers noise. Rodriguez trying to release Sissoko. Skips away from Nerfil.
I talked about Bradford maybe shifting to that back four, but Tyreek Wright coming on down the left-hand side for Bradford. At times he might have to play as a left wing-back. With Cozy Dubry out here, he's such a danger that you can't just stand on the halfway lane, you'll have to help your defence out.
Foul by Caden Jackson. Jumping into Johnston. Travelling players being serenaded by those who've made the trip from Bolton. Miles or so away from home, and making it sound like it's their patch. Jackson's flick, header from Conway. Here's Sarcevic, who we've not seen too much of tonight. Over goes right for a Bradford City ball.
Foul by Burstow. He's never going to get the ball, just leans into the centre half and nudges him.
Power aiming for Nerfil. Sissoko on for Rodriguez. Burstow and Cozy Dubry to look at. Sissoko to help out. And under from Farina. Metcalf was forceful. Forward by Poynton this time. Watched by Farina. Cozy Dubry and Burstow. Just run out of room. Oh, Wright wanted a little more time than he had. Long from Power towards Jackson. Again, Wright happy to settle for the contact.
Yeah, with Wright coming on down the left-hand side, Bobby Pointer's playing a little bit more central, so at times it's kind of two up top for Bradford. But again, like the first half, the lack of attacking quality. Forward passing hasn't been good enough. It hasn't given those two strikers a chance to get on the ball.
Oh, that could drop for Sissoko. Baldwin just about recovering his position and indeed possession. Fair to say that 8 minutes or so into the second half, we're looking for the first bit of composure in this second half. All a little bit harum-scarum at the moment. Fast and furious, and not an awful lot of finesse on show. But a fair bit of noise to boot. Rahon for Rodriguez, for Sissoko. Rodriguez again, two waiting in the middle. And Walker in the mix too.
That's really good passing move football from Bolton, just that final ball in. Too easy for Walker.
Bradford, they're pushing Nurfield as high up that right-hand side as they possibly can do, and they're desperately trying to get the ball out to him, but Max Conway appreciates that. Every time the ball has been played out to the winger, the fullback has stepped onto him and competed really well.
Forward by Conway. Didn't quite settle for Rodriguez. Pointon seizing on the touch from Osei-Tutu and getting himself between man and ball.
Osei-Tutu is always wrong side of his man. He's well ahead of Farino, who tries to head the ball down to him. He doesn't win that first contest. He's always behind his man, so if you try and win the ball, make any contact, you're going to give a free kick away. So it's a little bit naive just bundling his man over there. Just stay on your feet.
Power over the ball. Bradford City could do with something to ignite the game in their favour here. From Power, Bonham underneath it. It's there to be fought for, and they're well and truly fighting for it. Hence the whistle from Thomas Kirk.
Well, initially it looked fairly comfortable for Bonham. It was a poor set piece. The keeper maybe misjudged. Was he the one that was fouled? The ball seems to be overhit. Goalkeeper doesn't get too firm a punch on, that's why it stays alive. But this foul at the far post, or Bonham was initially fouled as well. But it's the only real pressure that Bradford have been able to put on Bolton from set pieces, just flashing that ball into the box. From open play, they're really struggling to hurt them.
Well, Thomas Kirk having to force the law there and do a little bit of redecorating as well. Bits and pieces came on the field. That represents a moment of threat, though, from a Bradford City point of view, the likes of which we'll need to see more of if they are to extend the season beyond tonight. Challenge from Tyreek Wright, but it's Bolton's ball again, albeit only momentarily. both managers just calling for a bit of calm. Take your time, they're saying.
It's just really scrappy, both sides looking to play 100 miles an hour, and it's understandable in a situation like this. You're playing too quickly. Just that the quality then dips for both sides. It's been a scrappy opening to the second half.
And there will be nerves on the sidelines as well. As we mentioned earlier, neither side in sparkling form, albeit they've done really well to get to where they are. Here's Tyreek Wright, on for Caden Jackson, and the flag will stop him in his tracks. Yes, indeed, Bolton don't first.
It's a promising situation. It looks a really disciplined defensive line that Bolton hold here. They have to get it right, they have to stay together. One of their 4 defenders drops off. I think actually it's hard done by there. Looking along the lines there, looking at Max Conway, the left back, and every possibility he actually played him on.
Well, Jack Bonner made sure there was no way through. But an encouraging few minutes for Bradford City, no less.
Better just driving with the ball. Caden Jackson making a move ahead of him, and just a bit more promising with the ball on the floor.
Tyreek Wright. Poynton. Shouts of hands. And go Bradford City though with Toure. Walker. Onto the chest of Poynton. Nicely done by Power for Tyreek Wright here. Away from Ossie Tutu, who then recovered.
That's poor defending initially from the right back, turns his back on Tyreek Wright. You should never do that with his pace. He's got the ability to recover and get the block in.
Toure's ball over, seen off by Farino. There's a problem here for Ossie Tutu. Seemed to fall to a heap here. I wonder whether it was done a few moments ago in the tangle.
I just wonder whether it's an impact injury or a muscular injury. Such a dynamic player. Usually pick up a tweaked muscle.
He's already had that Wembley feeling as a player and indeed as a scorer as well. A 96-minute equaliser for Rotherham in the EFL trophy and their eventual victory over Sutton United.
Yeah, Bolton have Cyrus Christie on the bench who can fill in at right back, but he's a very different type of player than, say, Tutu. You see his recovery, gets the block in. He seems okay. And then suddenly he's not.
Seemed to grab the back of the left leg there. Whether that's a hamstring issue or not, we shall see. Meantime, movement on the Bradford bench. We're looking at potentially 3 players here. Lapsley, Humphreys and Powell all set ready. And the first to be removed is Bobby Poynton. Bobby Poynton's done his best coming back into the reckoning tonight. Jensen Metcalf also leaving the scene. The experience and dynamism of the likes of Humphreys and Lapsley and Powell as well, who was really thrust into the limelight with his playoff moment at Wembley for Crewe Alexandra. So, just about the hour mark, and a triple change to change the way this game is going, perhaps. Lapsley straight into the action. Max Power having to quicken the stride. Humphreys straight into the challenge of Kozia Dubry, and then releasing the pressure that was built on Bolton Wanderers.
It's understandable, Graham Alexander making all these attacking changes, but it's just whether they can play the game that puts these dangerous attackers in goal-scoring positions.
Thierry Gale has been called for as well from a Bolton point of view. Sam Dolby as well. So the dynamic could change from a Bolton point of view as well. On and forward for Rodriguez. Here he is again. A neat piece of juggling to set Kozia Dubry away. Trying to find a way past Tyreek Wright.
It's a great crossing position, just balanced enough to whip a dangerous ball in there, Kozia Dubry.
Goes Conway, Lapsley, Powell. Didn't spin the way of Humphreys initially, but he's got it now. Theodosi Tutu makes it his ball. While Sam Walker retrieves the ball. Find out here exactly what Bolton Wanderers have planned. Some managers in this situation might retreat a little, deciding to try and hold on to what they have. Some feel that attack is the best form of defence. Powers ball. Humphreys here. Back by Wright for Walker. That's out of play. It's a Bradford ball. And here come the alterations from Bolton. The end for Rodriguez and for Sissoko.
Yeah, I don't think this is a reaction to the Bradford changes. It's maybe just the way that the game is flowing at the moment, just to freshen things up. Especially with Thierry Gale, it gives Bolton that option to counter-attack really effectively with his pace.
It goes towards Nick Powell, helped on by Lapsley. Tutu looking for Dolby straight away. Baldwin goes long this time. Lapsley might tuck himself in here. Tutu made sure he couldn't.
Coming for the fullback exactly where he needed to be.
Bradford City on the lookout for something again, trying to probe again, trying to bring this tie to life for themselves again. Nearly bringing Thierry Gale into the action.
I think we need to do that, just play the ball out in front of Gale, don't play it to him, just play the ball in behind the defenders and his pace will do the rest.
The visitors in absolutely no rush here, just trying to take the sting out of the game, help the clock wind down. towards Wembley as it stands for them. But that could change in an instant. Here's Humphreys. Tyreek Wright. They'll start again with Toure. Lapsley and Humphreys, and Tutu responding well. There's the speed again of the fullback. A really timely challenge, but Humphreys already on the left-hand side for Bradford, giving the Tutu plenty to think about. Blasted across by Tyreek Wright, not convincing from Gale. Sarcevic, power! Oh! So close to something so special for Bradford City, and a fine stop to deny it.
Well, Bonham gets fingertips on this. This is destined for the top corner. Brilliant technique. That overhand save. You know, he's a giant goalkeeper with an incredible
time to step up, wouldn't it? And quite the way too.
Bit of a Jack Bonham again.
And quite the way too.
Bit of a Jack Bonham again. It's a test of his concentration. He's had virtually nothing to do, but when called upon, he's made a quite brilliant save. He was ready to make the save. His anticipation there, all important.
Bradford City certainly coming alive a lot more in this second half than we saw in the first, or indeed the first leg. And they're keeping the pressure on here with Nerfil and Jackson. Good old tussle for the ball. With Baldwin, also Tutu. Toure, Tyreek Wright for Lapsley.
It's much more of a contest now. Bradford are really in the game. Changes have certainly freshened them up. Bolton far less comfortable than they were in the first half.
Max Power really coming to the fore as well. Stepping in with those rangy passes. Lapsley. Anthony Sarcevic. Nerfil at pace. Thierry Gale has a bit of that as well.
And as soon as the ball is set back to Max Power, you know, Jack Bonham is anticipating he might have a save to make, and he's ready. He's had nothing to do, and then suddenly this comes along and he reacts quite brilliantly. His positioning is perfect. His athleticism and the size, you know, his reach. You know, many goalkeepers just simply don't get there because they're not, again, they haven't got the reach, the stretch to actually get fingertips on that. It's a stunning save.
That is a super stop from every angle. Max Power must have thought that was going to nestle. Here is Power again. Into the path of Tyreek Wright. Where's that going to head? Jackson trying to juggle it. Sarcevic trying to attack it.
So it's an all-important defensive touch here from Josh Sheehan. He slides in. He just deflects the cross slightly, makes it more defendable.
Toure switching for Wright. Little touch for Humphreys. Delicate for Wright again. Oh, and the header wasn't bad from Powell, but was always right.
Yeah, much more the ball now from Bradford, and the key thing is they're getting it into the final third. This is where most goals are scored. This is when they can really profit. They're finally putting some quality into the box. That's not an easy header for Powell. It's moving away from the target, as is he. So trying to redirect that, get the power and the accuracy, very difficult, but much better from Bradford.
The last 10 minutes have belonged pretty much to Bradford City.
Having the ball is one thing, but get it into dangerous areas, create chances, because of course they need a goal.
Jose Dubry. Fleet of foot, invited onto it by Burstow and shut down by Toure.
It's great tracking from Toure, stays with the little give and go from Jose Dubry.
goes Powell. Cleared away by Johnston. Tyreek Wright goes again. Grappled and followed by Mason Burstow. Oh, and Wright has found a bit of room. Oh, that could have gone anywhere. Well, they get a corner. They felt for a moment like they were going to get a fair bit more from that.
Well, Bolton are rocking here under severe pressure. Marino gets a bit of good fortune. He's delighted that ball has whistled past the post and not inside it.
Farino once again in the way as he was in the first leg. Can Bradford seize the moment here? Which has been building and building and building. So again, the corner in is not of the required quality.
It's concerted pressure now from Bradford. It was sporadic in the first half, much better second.
Well, these are wonderful nights if you are a neutral. These are nerve-shredding nights if you have one of these teams in your heart.
The half-time break has seen a complete change in the flow of the game, the complexion of the game. Bradford very much on the front foot since the second half started.
Here's Lapsley. Scooping it forward for Powell. He wants a corner, it's a goal kick.
For something to go their way. I think Graham Alexander again is encouraging his team. His team have encouraged the fans as well because they're much more positive, more aggressive. They've created chances in the second half which they didn't in the first.
Simons and McAtee ready for action. Free kick given against Baldwin. And the changes will take place now. To see the departure here of Mason Burstow, we're told. And Ethan Irajon as well. The board seem to have malfunctioned, so Thomas Kirk, the referee, is having to marshal the respective players off the field.
These substitutions make sense. You're bringing on, Simons alongside Sheehan to just try and control the game, get a grip of it again. Attacking substitutes like Gale and McAtee, Dolby. In a flash as individuals, they can take the game away from Bradford. That's what Stephen Schumacher will be hoping for.
And we will restart with a Bolton Wanderers free kick. Weather a bit of a Bradford storm of late. No a chance to impose themselves, but there's a foul in the mix. We've got 15 or so minutes to play here, plus whatever is added. Of course, it's so easy coming into a second leg. Whoever you support, whether you really care about the outcome or not, to expect some sort of match-winning moment. On this particular night, we might, of course, have already seen the tie-winning moment in the first leg. As it stands, Mario Kosciadubri is the match winner over 2 legs. But something else might tip the balance here. It's Jackson. Seen off by Sheehan. Jackson again.
That's what the game is really crying out for, that flash of individual brilliance.
Going to be a free kick. It was an industrial challenge, it's fair to say.
because again, it's a challenge that, do you really need to make it? You're not going to get to the ball first. It's a high boot, you're giving a free kick away in a dangerous area. It's the wrong choice in trying to get to that ball.
Well, the first thing that has to be good here is the delivery. From then on, I wonder what might unfold in that penalty area. Delivery tonight thus far hasn't been great. In from Power, out by Dolby. Way as far as right. Sarcevic reloads. Humphries with Osei-Tutu. Power. Sarcevic, and now right. Baldwin still forward, he's not quite going to get there ahead of Johnston. Jackson looking to swivel. Striking Conway. Thomas Kirk very quick to say no penalty.
He's very close to the ball, his arms away from his body, unnatural position. Absolutely they're not, it's not a handball.
So to the resulting corner. Flung into the middle, Nick Powell's there, Bonham saves! Caden Jackson! But the flag is raised! And the majority around the ground haven't seen that yet. They thought that was their moment.
Well, it's another incredible save from Jack Bonham. And how Bolton defensively, how they stepped up. Is the offside the right decision? Yeah, you can see Caden Jackson in an offside position, so when the ball comes back off the goalkeeper, the flag has to go up. You credit Bolton there, because when that ball is swung to the edge of the 6-yard box, en masse they step up. They're still relying on Bonham making a brilliant save. And that's why Jackson is offside.
Yeah, great header in the first instance from Nick Powell, and a fine stop from Bonham. It's going in one direction though at the moment, isn't it? It's going Bradford City's way, but they need something. And Bolton Wanderers could hit them hard here. Thierry Gale. Bolton lost it! And Simons slams it in! All of a sudden, the Bradford bubble bursts! It's the comfort blanket of a second goal for Bolton Wanderers. And didn't he hit it sweetly?
Well, it's the classic sucker punch, because Bradford have made all the running. Jack Bonham, just remember that save he made from Max Power to keep it at 0-0. How important is that now? But they play the ball in behind for Thierry Gale. It looks like, he's lost the ball. The opportunity is gone. But credit Simons for following up the play. Could have stood on the halfway line. He didn't do that. He followed the play up. And that is all important. There's the ball in behind. Gale is onside. It's a poor touch. Looks like the chance is gone. He just keeps it alive. Again, it's just maybe fatigue from Bolton, just letting that ball go across his body. Tries to control it, misses it. And there's Simons again, following the play up, and how cool is that? Doesn't try and smash it home, just passes it into the back of the Bradford net. It is a wonderfully composed finish. Long, long way back for Bradford now.
Was brought on to stabilise the ship for Bolton Wanderers, and he's come on to start the party.
Well, that's why it's so impressive, because you'd expect him to sit alongside Sheehan and say, OK, Thierry Gale, Sam Dolby, you do all the attacking, you get us the killer goal. But it's the fact he stepped up the pitch, he covered the ground, and he benefited, Bolton benefited massively.
68 seconds between Caden Jackson popping it in the back of the net and that flag flying up, and Bolton Wanderers scurrying down the other end to grab their second of the tie. Xavier Simons has only grabbed a handful of senior goals in his career. It's only the second one of this season, but that could be huge in the context of the campaign and the tie. Bradford City now have to dust themselves down and build again with time running out. The game was heading in their direction and then it's been pulled away again.
Yeah, and Jack Bonham as well. I said that the save he made, this save from Max Power is impressive, but also the save from the Powell header. You know, he's just as good, because if this beats him, the goal stands. The fact he saves it, that Jackson is offside, so he makes two unbelievable saves. A poor touch from Baldwin, and Simon slams the ball home, but he takes the glory as the goal scorer, but Jack Bonham, two incredible saves.
Here's Lapsley. That will bounce through to one of the players who's really made a difference tonight.
Well, tonight Bolton have shown the different elements you need to be successful if they are to make it through to Wembley. Dominated the first half, kept the ball well, times played longer than they normally do. Second half they've been under the cosh, but their goalkeepers come up trump, so the games don't always go the way that you plan. You've got to adjust to what's happening in the game, and I think Bolton and Bonham have done that quite brilliantly.
Nick Powell felled, but up he gets, and on his side go. They have to now. Time very much of the essence. Here's Sarcevic. Sheehan went with him all the way. Corner kick, the verdict.
Well, you feel it's now or never for Bradford. They've got to get something from this set piece.
So many in the mix here, craving a chance. This is Lapsley. Body's in the way. Simon's in the way, having already had his moment, making sure that no one in Bradford colours has theirs. Well, they feel that the Wembley pre-party is in full flow.
They haven't stopped all night, have they? The gantry's been bouncing with the way the Bolton fans have supported their team.
They have made this place their home for the night. They've made their team feel at home tonight. His side are nearly there. Baldwin's header bounces off McAtee, who is then guilty of a foul.
It's very similar to the first leg. Actually, you know, Bradford in that first leg were dominating, and then Cozy Dubry scored. Very similar here. And Bradford doing all the attacking, Bolton sweep down the other end and get a goal against the run of play.
Trying to help it on. Simons with a strong challenge, which concedes a corner and no more. That's an aggressive challenge. If you go to ground like that, you've got to win the ball, and he does cleanly. Goal kick. Thierry Gale delighted with his endeavours. Just a few minutes away from a Wembley day. Johnston. Gale for McAtee. Just didn't have any real conviction. The idea is right, just the execution. Poor. Here's Max Power, who's put in a real shift to try and make his side tick. Be said, they've had a wonderful season, Bradford City. This time last season they were in League Two, getting promotion right at the end of the season. A wonderful campaign that's seen them in the top six for more days than any other side. And it would seem that they've just run out of steam as the season has come to an end. Here's Power, in towards Powell. Sarcevic looking for Lapsley, and anywhere will do for those in white.
Bradford had an incredible season, incredible consistency, just not been able to find a way past Bolton this season. The 5th time they played them, and haven't been able to beat them.
Max Power will hurl this one. It is kitchen sink time for Bradford City here. Johnston and McAtee. Loose for Lapsley. Baldwin losing out. Toure having to quickly cover. Desperate for a free kick, which he eventually gets. Gone on there. Now it's all getting silly. Bolton Wanderers would do well not to get involved with the tie balanced as it is. There was some petty pushing in there and maybe something a little more sinister.
I think it starts with a swipe of the ball from Aidan Baldwin. Catch a Bolton player and it all kicks off from there.
This is where there's no VAR to be forensic about this. It's very much a case of what was seen by the man in the middle and those on the sides. Yellow for Baldwin. I think in the end it ends in hugs between the two who were involved principally.
Yeah, I think Baldwin has a swipe at the ball and then as Gale pushed Toure, I think Toure then makes a meal of it, throws himself to the ground, but I think the referee's handled this brilliantly. He's just stepped away nice and calm, he's let it all kick off, quiet him down, then he's made his decisions. So the free kick's been given against Toure. They put the ball down, he moves it for them, Bolton has a swipe at the ball because Gale kicks it away, kicks through. Gale, that's really silly. Toure gets involved, Gale gives Toure a shove. What's Toure doing, throwing himself to the ground? Because that shove from Gale shouldn't send you to the turf. It all gets a little bit fractious and just a bit silly. The referee handled it so well.
It's fair to say nobody was mortally wounded in all of that. Swan has joined us in the interim with Max Power heading off. In from Tyreek Wright. Bolton trying to keep it under control as it bounces away from him and back to Walker. By the way, 7 added minutes. We're into those, of course, after all the melee. Might well be a little bit more to add on to the end of proceedings here. Kosher Dubry laps the across to slow him down. Farino's header, another one who's had a brilliant couple of legs for Bolton Wanderers. Tyreek Wright winning it back, helped by Powell. This is Humphreys, who didn't have the time he thought. Sam Dolby it was who scampered back and wins the goal kick.
And see what his teammates think of that. Centre forward back helping the defensive effort. That's what you have to do at this stage. The tie balanced as it is, just keep Bradford out.
How many feel the race is run now? But there will be a fair bit of pride in these parts for what's been achieved this season. The club who've been stranded in League 2 for a fair while have come so close to knocking on the door of the Championship.
Yeah, if you look at the tie overall, we had that attacking brilliance in the first leg from Kosher Dubry and just that defensive error from Baldwin in the second leg. So it's been a really tight contest, and just those moments have changed which team's going to get to Wembley.
Simons to take. His header. He's going to chase his own flick there, and that is going to be a free kick to Bradford.
I mentioned the key moments with the goals as well. You can't underestimate the influence on the game that Jack Bonham has had with those 2 saves that he made. They were immense.
Tutu has managed to shake off a couple of injuries to carry on through the pain. Toure with the throw. Farino to tidy up. Bonham away. Andy, who is your player of the match then?
Oh, Saviour Simons, he takes the credit for the goal, the winning goal, but Jack Bonham, if not for those 2 saves, it would be a very different story.
Dolby's header. Sheehan stoops to try and help it on. That will be Bonham's ball, and it will be his and Bolton's night. And let's not forget the playoff drama is not done here. Tomorrow we turn our attention to League 2. 7 p.m. Sky Sports Football. Notts County and Chesterfield rekindle their battle. Notts with the lead. Salford against Grimsby. Salford with their noses in front. And the Championship playoff final on Saturday the 23rd of May, 3:30 on air on Sky Sports Football, subject of course to what we've heard today from the EFL, pending the hearing and possible appeal. League 1 playoff final 24th of May as well, midday start for that one. Sky Sports, your place for the playoffs. And what a group of playoffs we've had so far, with more drama in the offing.
I mentioned the defensive contribution of Jack Bonham, but George Johnston, Chris Farino, immense central defensive partnership. They had to play together because Owen Toll unfortunately had to go off. Those 2 have been brilliant in front of the goalkeeper as well. Bolton are a team that can play silky football, they can dominate the ball, but they can dig deep as well, and those 2 in particular have kept Bradford out along with Jack Bonham.
Bolton noise, there's Bradford noise. There's been pride and passion from the stands all night. It's been a long, hard season, and for one of these sides, it's going to go a little longer, a little harder, with a big prize up for grabs. Sarcevic tidying up.
Those Bolton fans tonight have been a proper 12th man. Extraordinary noise and continuous noise throughout the game away from home. Outstanding support from them.
Anywhere will do now for Farino and Bolton. They just want the whistle from Bolton. Here is Toure. Dubry couldn't quite find Dolby. Nerfville up and away. Farino rising with Powell. Dolby away. Now there's a race on, and it's won by Nerfville.
Forget Chris Farino. He's more like Lou Farino, the original and best Incredible Hulk. What a performance from him tonight.
Well, like many in Bolton Wanderers white, he's perhaps feeling the pain a little bit. That pain will be wiped away with the whistle, which is imminent. Dolby's challenge. It's a Bradford free kick. Into the 100th minute of the second leg. There's the whistle. Wembley's calling for Wanderers. Bolton's championship dream lives on. An exhausting, enthralling campaign extends that little bit further, with the second tier now just one game away. Over 2 legs, they deservedly emerged victorious. Bradford City couldn't make the most of their moments. Bolton made theirs count. Jack Bonham, a key figure in the Wanderers' goal, as the hosts piled on the pressure for a while this evening. But it is Bolton who make their way under the arch. Back-to-back 1-0 wins do the job. The full range of emotions on show right here, right now, of course. That's the playoffs. Bradford broken, having fought so hard on the night and during the campaign. The smiles belong to Bolton Wanderers. They reach the League One playoff final. It ends Bradford City 0, Bolton Wanderers 1, 2-0 to Bolton Wanderers on aggregate. Andy Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, I think there were 2 really tight contests, but I think it was a tie of moments. You mentioned it in terms of the goal scorers, the Jack Bonham saves, just moments within a really tight contest. That's the difference. That's why Bolton will play Stockport at Wembley. That's going to be some game.
Big celebrations for the moment, then the attention will turn to the showpiece final. Bolton Wanderers and Stockport County will go toe-to-toe in the capital. And these guys will be loving every minute of the build-up. We'll hope to prosper in the match itself.
And just to commiserate with Bradford, they've had an extraordinary season, you know, back in League One. They're in the top 6 for so long this season, just fell short right at the death. You have to feel for them. It could have been different if Bonham hadn't made those saves, but he did, and that's why it's Bolton who are going to step out at Wembley.
Indeed, congratulations to Bolton Wanderers, commiserations to Bradford City. It is Bolton who are into the final.
Yeah, if you're watching on Sky Sports Main Event right now, you'll be leaving us to join the Golf and the PGA Championship. But here on Sky Sports Football, we'll continue reacting to Bolton reaching Wembley in the League One playoff final.
Come on, Keith. Come on.